Hey, welcome into the Ducks post-game show. I'm your host, Todd Fox, along with our other host of the show, Catella Chronicles own.
Dominic Lorenz, how we doing, everybody? It feels like we did this about 24 hours ago.
Just about, but we had a more pleasant finale to that game as the Ducks win that game yesterday against the Boston Bruins, but not so much tonight. Although it was a good effort against the physical Ottawa Senators team, the Ducks fall 3-2, scoring, letting Ottawa score late, and the Ducks were not able to respond. Although we'll get into that last rush, which was
Yep.
pretty intense. The Ducks almost, and they did give it their best shot, but just fell short, losing 3-2. Opening thoughts on this one, Dominique?
It's one of those games where the Ducks didn't catch a lot of bounces, and I think at the other side of the token, at the very end, we'll dive deeper into that final 30 seconds of the game. The Ducks just had an equipment malfunction. Troy Terry has half of the net wide open. It was Jay Woodcroft, the assistant coach, set that up beautifully. You had a great setup, and I believe it was either Cutter or Lacombe that got the pass across, and Terry had the net wide open. And as he gets into that wind-up and ready to nail it right in the back of the net, the shaft of the stick just snaps. Don't you hate it when the shaft snaps?
Yeah, that's
Isn't it unfortunate when that shaft snaps and that right there? But the play was set up perfectly. The Ducks executed it once again. But as we've talked about before, some nights you're going to get the bounces and some nights you don't. Tonight was one of the don'ts. And hey, the Ducks, what hurts more than just the stick breaking, the Ducks outplayed Ottawa in that third period and unfortunately don't get to reap any benefits.
Yeah, I was talking to a friend. It's like, bro, they are bullying the Ottawa Senators. Every time the Senators tried to get it out, even the few shots that they had in that third period were very, very mundane, not really too much, except for one rush that they had on Mrazek. They really didn't have a real good rush on him in that third period. They had a hard time clearing their own zone. The Ducks were pressuring big time in this game. I thought that they kept it on them all night. And, like you said, sometimes the results aren't there, even though you played really tough. I think this is one of those games, man, where in the box score, they did everything right, but they just could not, like you said, get the breaks when they needed them.
And again, you saw on Monday, the Ducks stole a game from Utah that they probably shouldn't have won, scoring with 4.1 seconds left. And tonight is kind of reminiscent of that game, just going not the Ducks' way overall. Yep. So maybe you steal one Monday and this is karma biting you right back once again. But I think overall, the Ducks did a really good job. And I think one thing that I'll look at tonight, it wasn't a very undisciplined game for the Ducks tonight, but I think this comment on the board right here is exactly maybe why the Ducks are struggling late in the game. They're getting outworked on the faceoffs. Again, tonight, Ottawa outworks the Ducks 55.7% on faceoffs to 44.3%. And that's been a little bit of a trend. It's not been so bad where it's like 70-30 or 80-20. They're getting outworked by about 10 to 15% every night. So out of 61 faceoffs, the Ducks won only 27. The Ducks need to find a way to be better because there was late in that final minute where the Ducks lost two key faceoffs. Luckily, one of them went for an icing that brought it back into their offensive zone. But it could have been much worse, and two of those opportunities late in the third period could not have happened. And again, it's piece by piece, and it leads to that Troy Terry broken stick. But overall, I think if there's one thing to learn from tonight, is be better on faceoffs. And I did see what I thought I would last night. You saw late in the third period, the shifts got very much shorter on the back end of a back-to-back. It doesn't matter if it's a home and home or a road and road or home and road split. That third period is always tough on a back-to-back. But the Ducks still outplayed Ottawa in that third period well enough to win the game, if not tie it late. So there was a lot to like in this game. But it's one of those games that slips through your fingertips where you at least wish you would have got that pity point.
Dude, I was just going to say that, man. Tonight would have been a lot easier to stomach had we got that pity point, the Terry late goal. I would have been, gloating a little bit because that's my boy. Like your boy is Leo, Uncle
Yep.
Leo. I
Yep.
love me some Terry. So if Terry could have got that gold, I would have been pretty happy, even
Yeah.
even with a loss in OT. But again, valiant effort. I agree with everything you said right there. You just got to turn the page, man. Use this one as a learning experience moving forward. But I would have loved to have gone with a sweep against these two teams before you face the Golden Knights, which Golden Knights won again tonight, beating Edmonton 4-1. So the Ducks only have a 1-point lead on the Pacific Division. So,
Yeah.
with that being said, before we get into the scoring, well, actually, you know what? Let's do that. Let's give the score, how the scoring went, if you could, Dom, and then
Yes.
get into the 3 stars.
Absolutely. So Ottawa led things off. Cousins gets his 4th goal of the season to make it 1-0 Ottawa. And this was just a little bit of a slap shot, a bullet that, and we'll talk about this more once we get through a lot of things. Peter Mrazek had another great game, but when you're getting a snipe coming right at you with 2 bodies in front of you, this was easily, I don't know if maybe I missed it. An average shot in the NHL on a slap shot, you're looking at upper 80s, low 90s. This one had to be coming upper 90s, low hundreds. This was a bullet past Mrazek, 1-0 Ottawa. The Ducks find a way once again and bounce back. Back-to-back goals in the second period. Beckett Seneca gets his 7th of the year from Gauthier and Carlson. Carlson, his 17th assist of the season. Gauthier's 12th. And again, Seneca looked really good. And we talked about Terry having equipment malfunctioning late in the third period. Seneca nearly had the game-tying goal before the timeout on a late rush. He got his stick tied up. He still got a play on the puck. It just inches away from making it as it rises above the goal crease. McTavish played very well tonight in a bounce-back game for him. He picks up his 4th goal of the year, assisted from Kreider and your boy, Troy Terry.
Yep.
There we go.
There you go.
There we go. And the
Flagged
Ducks,
it right there.
There we go. And the Ducks have that 2-1 lead. And then a problem. Ducks give up a power play goal here tonight, late in the first, late in the second. 58 seconds remaining as Pinto gets his 10th of the year. Again, I know that was in the comment section overall, but a late goal in the second period is something that you don't want to have for the Ducks. So much momentum could have been taken into the period with the 2-1 lead. But again, it ends up being 2-2, and that kind of changes the dynamics of what we would see in the third period, where there was one and only goal, and it was Ottawa getting the game winner. Batherson gets his 7th of the year on a shot to the middle of the net. 2 Ducks defenders in front. He just sticks his stick out to the far side, and the lovely ricochet of hockey. If you know geometry plays big factors in hockey. Sometimes you just stick it out and the bounces go your way. Some nights they don't. It goes the way of Ottawa. Batherson gets his 7th of the year from Sanderson and Spence, and that is the ball game or hockey game, however you want to call it in these days. 3-2 Ottawa, even 25 shots on goal for both squads. We already mentioned the faceoffs, 55.7 to 44.3. The power play, 1 for 3 for Ottawa, 0 for 2 for the Ducks, struggling on the power play of late. And we talked about it last night, how Ottawa was 31st ranked in the NHL in penalty kill. Ducks can't take advantage of it tonight. Ottawa had more hits. We knew they'd be more physical. Ducks had more block shots. Ducks had the least amount of giveaways, and they had the most takeaways. So overall, box score speaking, outside of the first period, where the Ducks should have probably been trailing 2 or 3-0, Mrazek kept the Ducks in this game. 10 shots to 3 in favor of Ottawa, but the Ducks had a really good second, except for that 1 goal given up late, and they had a really good third period. So you got to play 60 minutes of hockey. In my opinion, I feel the Ducks played about 48 minutes of hockey tonight. So needing to clean that up, even though the shots on goal and the statistics are pretty even. Mrazek had a good game. Unfortunately, the Ducks can't get the job done, even for a pity point, losing 3-2.
Yeah, tough loss here tonight, but it's one of those where you got to take a day off, have a little morning skate, and get ready for the next one, man. So that'll take us to our 3 stars of the game. Dom, who are your 3 stars?
I like doing these in a win better, right?
Yes, they're much, much better in a win.
Man, but tonight, there will be an Anaheim Duck featured in our 3 stars of the game because there was some good performances on both sides, even though this gentleman did not pick up a point tonight. John Eilers, Brian Hayward both talked about it a lot tonight. Olen Zellweger, again, did not pick up a point tonight, but the way he played on both sides of the ice, offensively, defensively, we talk a lot about the Ducks defensemen joining the rush. I think he played an exceptional game of hockey, clearing pucks out, also setting up opportunities. And about I think it was about 5:15 left in the third period when there was a break for Ottawa. He laid his body out in front of Mrazek, and the Ducks ended up making a really nice defensive play. So I'm going to give Olen Zellweger the 3rd star of the game with his play both offensively and defensively tonight. And shockingly enough, looking at the box score for the Ducks, Olen Zellweger is your top shots on goal man of the night. He had 5 shots on goal from a defenseman. So good work tonight from Zellweger. And unfortunately, the top 2 stars are going to have to go to the Ottawa Senators. The game tying goal at the end of the second period that changed the momentum a little bit, Shane Pinto. And then the number 1 star of the game is the game-winning goal on a lucky tip. And again, sometimes you get the breaks, sometimes you don't. It's Drake Batherson, his goal, with just under, I believe it was 2 minutes or so left in the hockey game. Yeah, about 2 minutes left, and that was it tonight. Ducks lose 3-2. So Zellweger in the 3, Pinto in the 2, and Batherson in the 1.
Zellweger had a point blank shot too when the game was still tied at 2. I think with about 4 minutes left, where it could have gave the Ducks the lead right there. He had a nice rush, and yeah, he came up deep from the blue line and had a open lane, man, an open look too. It's just a shame that one didn't go on. But again, it goes back to your point in the opening banter. They just did not get the bounces, did not get the puck. Just in the net.
Happen. It's gonna happen in these games, and like I said before, Utah should have been a loss. We were dead in the water till 4.1 seconds. Boston, we earned it. We played well tonight. Played well, just didn't have the bounces. So it sucks that the winning streak at home goes to the wayside, and it's a tough overall night. Again, I'm not going to seem too down and dreary about it because the Ducks still played well. You're still looking for that perfect 60 minutes of hockey, and I think we're still way early in the season for that to happen. And yes, it's always rougher on a night when divisional rivals like Vegas and I think the Kraken and I think a couple other teams are all in action. A lot of them have won, so the lead in the Pacific gets a little bit closer, and you now know what's on the horizon of an off day tomorrow, and then Vegas on Saturday at home. Whoops, as I lose the mic here. There's a lot. There was a lot riding on this game. You wanted to have 3 wins and be ready to go. But again, I always say sometimes a loss sets you up for good things moving forward.
Absolutely. Now we have to get to the hoser of the game.
Gosh dang. Oh, I love the music. I love the creativity on the hoser of the game. Tonight, unfortunately, you know what? Screw it. It's the damn freaking stick of Troy Terry.
That's
what? The hoser is the damn equipment failure. You know what? The boy who had the freaking 4.1 second magical goal on Monday could have had another. What was it? It was under 20 seconds or something along those lines. Had the opportunity to be a potential hero once again, and the stick fails him anytime. So basically the hoser of the night goes to the freaking shaft of Troy Terry's stick, collapsing at the moment of truth on a beautiful pass with 90% of the net open, getting the Ottawa goalie out of position. A wonderful drawn-up play, crashing the net, and basically going coast to coast from one side of the net to the other on some beautiful passing. Gauthier, Lacombe, everybody creating the opportunity. So I'm going to give a shout-out to Jay Woodcroft, the assistant coach, who has done a really good job, exceptional job, of drawing up these last-second plays with under 2 minutes when the Ducks are trailing by 1 or tying. We've seen a number of times the Ducks score late in hockey games, and he's done a fabulous job drawing up these plays. So perfectly designed play. The execution was there. The equipment gets a failure. So damn you, Shaft of the Stick. Damn it. He gets the hoser of the game.
Dude, if it was legal to kick the puck in, he could have kicked it in. That's how wide
Mhm.
open that net was, dude.
Man.
But it's a frustrating one. But
Yeah.
as we turn the page on a loss tonight against Ottawa and a home back to back there, we got
Yeah.
one more home game coming, and that's against the Golden Knights this Saturday. And then Saturday, we're not going to be there at Brewheim if you want to come down and hang out with us.
You mean this?
Yes, I mean that. The watch party right there. We fly
Yes.
together Saturday, November 22nd around 6 p.m. The game is at 7. So we'll be there to kind of kick it off with you and have a beer or two and
Yeah.
enjoy some good food over there at Brewheim. It's a nice place if you haven't seen it. It's not too far from a Honda Center,
Yep.
and we'll be there calling the game. So if
Yeah.
you want to hang out with us, if you don't have a ticket, you can. If not, go into the game, then come after and get a brewski on a discount courtesy of Halos in the infield.
We're going to have Yes, sir. Yeah, we're going to have a great time on Saturday. So, again, like Todd said, if you're going to the game, come before, come after, visit us, take photos, do whatever you want to do. If you're not going to the game and you're free on Saturday and college football ain't your thing, come on down. We're going to have a great time at Brewheim. We're going to have the game on the big screen TV. Todd and I are going to be set up. Come interact with us. Come have a great time. And I'll put it back up there. If you don't know where Brewheim is, 1931 East Right Circle in Anaheim, just down the street from Honda Center and Angel Stadium. This Saturday, Ducks and Golden Knights, wear your Duck stuff. It's going to be a blast of a time.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty fun. And so, like, I think with all, we should be able to have a good time down there and enjoy some hockey. And if football is your thing and you want to take a little break during intermissions,
there's other TVs.
Yeah, there's other TVs that will have college football on. So we'll have Ducks hockey and obviously college football there too. So
now absolutely. Now, before we talk about the Vegas game, there was something in the comments and some breaking news, not now, but happened earlier today.
Okay.
And I know our good buddy Zach of Ducks Game Day Breakdown, he posted a video about it. There's a little bit of some dissension in the ranks with the Anaheim Ducks. And D0207 said, I say we trade Pavel Minchikov for a third liner for a two-way forward and a little more punch. For those that maybe aren't as in the know about this information, Ducks defenseman Pavel Minchikov is right now, as some would say, in his feelings a little bit about being a healthy scratch for the last 3 games. He's been in uniform and in warm-ups on the ice all 3 games of this homestand. But again, with Joel Quenneville juggling the lines, playing the hot hand right now, Minchikov is on the outside looking in. He has voiced his opinions, and the rumors from Elliot Friedman, who is what I would equivalent to the Ken Rosenthal of the NHL for those that know MLB baseball, Major League Baseball talk, or Shams from ESPN for the NBA. It's one of those big insiders that follow everything NHL. He was reporting earlier today that Minchikov is frustrated, and he feels that if the Ducks don't want to play him, they should just trade him. Early on in the year, for any of this dissension in the ranks for happening, Todd, what's your take on it? Because I know that hasn't really been an issue with the Ducks in years past about trade me, you're not playing me, or like even when we talk Angel stuff, there really hasn't been any dissension in the ranks in terms of that. So early in the season, the Ducks were playing well. Where's your take on Pavel Minchikov potentially being vocal about, if you don't play me, trade me?
I think this happens in a lot of sports, but more in hockey than most, because in hockey it's a pride thing. If you make the NHL club, you don't want to be the last guy on the roster, let alone be a guy who's only practice squad material or a healthy scratch. Healthy scratches are looked down upon, like Anthony Rendon on the Angels baseball team. Because I mean, even though they're ready to play, they can practice like nobody's business. The fact that you're not able to be out there, it's a pride thing. You're not able to contribute, and especially when the team is good, you want to show out that you can show out and ball out on the ice. So with that being said, I know as well as you do from of Coach Q's prior experiences in the hockey locker room. When there is some issues, he takes care of it.
Hmm.
And the worst way to get to a type of coach like Coach Q is to bitch and moan.
Hmm.
So you got to either keep your spot by your play, elevate your time by your play. Because going to him and saying, "Hey, can I talk to you behind closed doors?" or complaining to the media or to other players to where it gets around and becomes dissension in the locker room is not the way you go about it on Coach Q. Maybe on some other
Yeah.
hockey teams, maybe on some previous Ducks teams, you could do that. But
Yeah.
this is a new regime, Dom, and I don't think this is going to be tolerated.
No, and I think it's a little bit of frustration from Minchikov, and I think the person in question out of all of this is the great play of Ian Moore over the last couple of weeks. When
Yeah.
he got called up, when Radko Gudas went down, you knew Gudas was going to have his spot back no matter what. And food for thought, FYI fans, Radko Gudas has looked very well since coming off of the IR. He had plenty of speed tonight, complete enforcer on defense, joining the rush on offense. So I like where Gudas is coming off that injury. In terms of Minchikov, again, I think he's young, he's frustrated, and he's seen another younger guy who was probably supposed to be with the AHL affiliate, the San Diego Gulls this year, take a spot. And it's true. You're in your feels a little bit. And I like the talent, and I like what Minchikov brings to the table. And I want him, instead of potentially running his mouth again, Elliot Friedman is a very good direct source in the NHL. So he says there's vocal. I'm not hearing it as much from the Ducks internal media. So I don't know if it's like, yeah, man, trade me, like if it's passive or if it's a meaningful, if you're not going to play me, trade me type mentality. So it's hard because, again, when you have a limited roster, and right now, if you look at the defenseman for the Ducks, you're not going to bench Lacombe. He's got a contract. Gudas, you're not going to do that. You're not doing that with Owen Zellweger. You're not doing it with Trouba. You keep going down the list. Hellison's been playing good. You're really in a situation where there's really one spot and one too many players. So someone is going to get hurt in this process emotionally. And with Ian Moore getting that goal a couple of nights ago, and he's looked the goal last night against Boston and setting up some goals in the past. I think Pat Verbeek and Coach Q you're just rolling with the hot hand right now. That's all that can be said. So when Pavel does get back into the lineup at some point, because I know the rumor is, they might send him down to the AHL so he gets reps with the first team unit. Maybe. But you have a game Saturday against Vegas. You're going to have 3 days off. I just don't know if the Ducks maybe do send him down there for the 3 days off. I'd have to look at the Gulls schedule. Something's going to have to happen. But no matter what, when Pavel gets the opportunity to come back on the big line for the Anaheim Ducks, he has to ball out and put basically money where his mouth is, or else he will be definitely going back to San Diego.
Yeah, and that's a demotion I don't think anyone wants at this point. But again, this just goes to show you too, you got talent up here where every spot is going to be valued.
Yep.
And it's not like before where you're okay with a couple gold guys up here,
Yeah.
or you're just trying to get bodies. You got guys that want to compete, guys that want to play, guys that can compete. But the problem is the next man up mentality, or if the coach says, "Hey man, I'm not feeling you. I think more. I'm gonna ride the hot hand more," and that's where I think he could turn himself to Coach Q by just being humbling himself and saying, "Look, I know I'm better.
Yeah.
Let me show him in pre-skates. Let me do this." If he's able to show him by his actions, not his words, that would have worked better. But or make the best of the ice time you do get. So if you do have to wait 3 weeks and you come back and you only get a game in a back-to-back or something like that,
you better be clean as hell.
Exactly. You better be way good in the plus minus, right? So that's what I'm saying. Like you just this kind of mentality, yes, where it could be warranted in other franchises and other previous Ducks teams. It's just not the way to go about it with Coach Q. You got to know your surroundings, you got to know your situation. And that's the unfortunate situation. We might lose them. who knows? It could just be some inner fighting that'll get solved, and he'll come to his senses,
Yeah.
and this will all work itself out. But for right now, a little bit of controversy isn't too bad. A little bit of issues isn't too bad.
Yeah.
It could galvanize the team. Who knows?
You got to keep the fire under you in some regard. I would just say if the Ducks, I think if there was a demotion, I think Pavel would get very vocal, especially
Yeah.
being with the team all year last year, never really seeing a touch of the AHL and stuff like that. If he was to put on the trade block, what could the Ducks? I don't even know what a potential trade like that would look like because he's young, he's controllable. I could see him, and a lot of Ducks fans would know this. When the Ducks lost Shea Theodore, when Las Vegas was the expansion team and everybody had to basically sacrifice a player to basically give to Vegas, which I think is bullshit to begin with.
Oh
That
yeah.
like that is just complete and utter BS. Like that's how you create an expansion team. I think it's stupid. My opinion is an expansion team should have extra salary cap for the first few years before that. But that's a whole nother story for another day. But I would feel losing Minchikov would feel like that in a couple years when he gets stronger and gets older and gets more experience. Minchikov is going to be a very good defender. So I don't want to lose him. Hopefully, it's just a little bump in the road and nothing too crazy to worry about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So, with that being said, we went through the hoser, gave you the 3 stars. We talked about a tough loss here with Ottawa on a back-to-back home series here, but again, this Saturday at Bruheim, we'll be there broadcasting live as the Ducks take on a division rival, the Las Vegas Golden Knights, who got spoon-fed a great team. And we want to take them down a peg and hopefully go up 2-0. Obviously, we won in Vegas, but this is going to be a tough matchup here at home. They
Yeah.
are one of the cream of the crop of hockey, and a team that we traditionally have struggled with since they came into the league. Dom. So this one, keys to the game, I guess, as we look ahead to Saturday.
I would say the keys to the game would be rewatch the tape when you played Vegas. Get inspired. Get light that fire under you again. When the Ducks played Vegas, they played up to the Coach Q and the Stanley Cup standard. Yeah, there were a couple ebbs and flows in the game. Again, the Ducks to me have not played a perfect 60-minute game yet this season. Some of the closest games were early on, like the Florida game at home or the Dallas game in that third period. There have been games where the Ducks have played legitimately. They need one of those games. You're 2-1 on the 6-game homestand so far. After Saturday, you get a 3-day break. So hopefully you can go into that mini vacation, riding a high. And I think you did a really good job of limiting the top 2 players in Mitch Marner and Jack Eichel the first time around in Vegas. You're going to have to do that again. Okay, what more can you do? If you're going to get beat by somebody else. Don't get beat by the big dogs. Study the tape, figure it out. And Vegas is going to do the same thing to the Anaheim Ducks. I guarantee you, over the last, I'd say 5 or 6 games, they're going to put a clamp on Leo Carlsson. Even though Carlson's been getting an assist here and there, he is clogging up so much of the opposing team's defense by getting double teamed and triple teamed. It's opening up other players. So the Ducks need to realize that, use Carlsson as a decoy, and start opening up some other parts of the ice and exposing the Vegas Golden Knights defense. You're going to get Dostal in the net with Mrazek playing tonight. Again, Mrazek played a great game tonight, but who knows? Coach Q can say, screw you, Dominic. I'm going to tell you where I think and put Mrazek back in there. You never know. But I would guess, $1 to a donut that it's going to be Dostal, and Dostal's going to have to be a wall in that game for sure.
Yeah, I like that tit for tat right there. They got to play him. They got to put bodies on the Golden Knights. Like you said, copy, paste, or wash, rinse, or repeat. Whatever you got to do, follow it up like whatever the game plan was. And I like the point about Leo. You have seen him get double teamed a lot lately. And they're trying to put bodies on him to keep him out of in front of the goalie too. So he's going to have to create his own shots. But yeah, you could use him as a flanker until he gets the little heat off of him a little bit. That'd be good too. So
next man up mentality.
Absolutely, you're gonna have to look for another scorer if he's covered. That's for sure. So I think this was a frustrating post game, but we got through it.
The damn, again, when the pucks don't roll your way and it rolls to the other team, and the damn shaft of the stick breaks, it's one of those nights. What more can you do? Hey, we're gonna wake up tomorrow. They're gonna have an optional skate. They're gonna figure it out. 3 divisional games within the next week. These are 3 big games. The Ducks, in my opinion, got to take at least 2 of 3. I don't care, how it is. It would be great if it's against your rivals, the Golden Knights and the Kings. But if you can find a way to win 2 of 3, or at least get a point in all 3 of those games, to me, that would equate a successful homestand. Because after that, the last game of the month of November is against the Chicago Blackhawks, who you've struggled against, no matter if you've been home or on the road. So really, 4 games left in this month. My prediction, what was my prediction? It was at least 8 wins in the month of November, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so far in this month, as I put up the schedule, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we are at 7 wins. So the Ducks are 7-4 through their first 11 games. So we're in that realm of wanting to be above 500, wanting to be where we are. The Pacific Division is still very, very close. And as you mentioned, with Vegas winning tonight and with the Kraken winning tonight, Ducks are in first in the Pacific, 27 points. Oh, look, Vegas, 1 point below us at 26.
Yeah.
Kraken at 25, Kings at 25, and the Sharks in 5th at 23 points. And again, just a couple nights ago, the Sharks were in 7th, now back up to 5th. So everybody from top to bottom was within reason in this Pacific Division. So it's great hockey. It's a battle no matter what night. And the Ducks, as we've talked about at all points this season, there are no breaks in the schedule. It is all gas, no breaks. Saturday is going to be here before you know it. And this is going to be fun.
Oh, yeah.
This is going to be fun. Come on out, guys. Todd and I, we're going to be there. We'll be there, probably getting there around 6 o'clock to set up and get ready to go. 7 o'clock puck drop. If you're going to the game at Honda Center, come by before to hang out with us. Come by after the game. Bruheim's open till like midnight or 1 a.m., whatever their business is. And we're going to be calling the game from there. If you're at home, come on down. No rain in the forecast this weekend, thank God. So Saturday, November 22nd, the live watch party. Todd and I will be there. Ducks versus the Golden Knights. We will be at Bruheim, just down the street in Anaheim.
Absolutely. So look forward to seeing you there. Dom, it's been a pleasure tonight.
Absolutely.
We'll see you live and in person this Saturday.
Let's do it. Go Ducks, fly together, and damn shaft of the stick. Not everybody.